Happy Monday morning, April 5th, 2021. To God be the glory for yet another beautiful opportunity to experience His grace, His love, His faithfulness. It never ends. I tell you, testimony. This was, probably the second day this year, but I have not called off from work at all this year, from the school year. And, walking to school, back and forth 3 miles. And I just tired. Today, just anticipating returning back to school. And I just wasn't feeling it. And I was like, Lord, I haven't called off. And I was within 5 minutes where I had to make a decision. Should I just stay in bed? And I wasn't tired. He woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, well, what would I do if I would stay home? Yeah. So he was like, you can do that at your job during your break. And he was like, get up, because there will be a time where you cannot go and work. So while you can, do it with all thy might. And he gave me confirmation of this morning in Ruth, the 2nd chapter. I tell you, he just spoke to me about work ethic, a hard work ethic. And we know that our ancestors, when I think about my grandmothers and how so many of our grandparents, did domestic work and perhaps worked in a factory, just hard labor, and they didn't complain, and they had 9 and 10 and 11 children, right? And would come home and take care of the household, even though the children would, have jobs too. But still, then they would take care of their husbands, and they just did it. So how can I complain about, No. So in verse 11, I think verse 7, it says, and she said, I pray you, let me glean. This is Ruth speaking, the Moabitish damsel, the woman. She said, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and have continued. These are the servants talking about Ruth, her work ethic. They're just saying she came and have continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. She just had a break just now, but she's just been working nonstop. And people took note. And in verse 11, it says, and Boaz answered and said unto her, if have fully been showed me, it had been, revealed to me, all that thou hast done for your mother-in-law since the death of thine husband. Now, you didn't even have to be faithful to your mother-in-law, okay? When your husband passed, look, you could have cut her off. But no, Ruth was faithful still to her mother-in-law, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother. So Ruth left her own parents, her own family, to tend to her mom-in-law and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knewest not heretofore. So you left all that to show that God is real, right? Because he was doing a work in Ruth's life. You better believe that. And because of that, she was like, let me find favor in thy sight, for thou hast comforted me. He put confidence in her. She was comforted, and he was like, come eat with me. And she just gained so much. So what does that tell us? Look, get up. We're not doing it for accolades, but we're doing it because the Lord will comfort us and strengthen us, and we'll be able to dine with him continually. Woo! A merry heart doeth good like medicine, and have a continual feast. Oh, yes. And we know the story of how she gained favor with him, Boaz, and with the servants, and with her mother-in-law, Naomi, continually. And then it says in verse 17, so she gleaned in the field until even, that means evening time, until night, and beat out that she had gleaned. And it was about an ephah of barley. She was a hard worker. She had so much to bring back. And it says in verse 20, and Naomi said unto her, oh, blessed girl, you don't even realize what you did. You were working for kinfolk, and he is one who could hook you up. In verse 23, so she kept fast by thy maidens. So Ruth hung out with the young women because, it was advised to stay in groups because there were some predators around there. So what am I saying? Look, God will supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory as we are faithful to him. So because of today's date, we have to do what David did. Early in the morning, when we're tired, when we don't even want to get up, when we're just like, oh my goodness, Monday morning blues. No, they're good news. There is good news in the land. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. The Lord will give us strength. As for me, I will come into thy house, and to the multitude of thy mercy. In the fear will I worship toward the holy temple. Hey, wherever is the place God has assigned us is a place of worship, because we're going to be there. We're going to bring the Spirit of the Lord. Yes. And in verse 12, Lord will bless the righteous with favor, just like Ruth was favored. Will thou compass us with a shield? He will surround us with his glory. Let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest. The Lord has defended us. He's going to bless us at work. Let us be faithful. Enjoy.